Fempreneur Friday is a conscious entrepreneurship community and a safe space where consciousness meets cool in divine feminine celebration and where we align over hustle.
Think about it as your own delicious happy hour for the week. It is a live, raw, and real community conversation with us, your girlfriends.
I'm Brett Sims, an entrepreneur, artist, and the founder of the global art nonprofit Stuck Designs.
And me, Stacey Wigiseria. I'm a mom, author, esthetician, self-love coach, and founder of Exalted Woman Being. We are here to elevate in the community and connect with you all. If you're ready to take your spirituality and business to the next level, join us.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Hello. Happy Friday.
We're back here.
Yep.
If you're listening on the podcast, what's up? If you're listening or watching, on YouTube, you can actually see our faces this week. But yes, we're back with another episode. And this week, as we've kind of prefaced in our past episodes, we really wanted to discuss mind, body, soul alignment because, I don't know about y'all, but like this year has been, it's like been imperative for me to like get in my body, and to make sure that I'm working out, make sure that I'm being healthy and all this stuff. And all of that really does tie into, our entrepreneurship journey as a whole. So yeah, your thoughts, Stacey, on it?
Yeah, I'm excited about this topic. Also, I think really relating it to the everyday person, how do we really use it? And also it's been a topic throughout my life, and actually getting to this point, because I like Brett, feel like within the last 2 years is really, I got more of an understanding on it. And
me too. Because I had none. Really.
Yeah, it's understanding from different levels. We were talking yesterday or last week. We were talking last time on our podcast about experience versus the knowledge, right? Like kind of we have the knowledge of it. Yeah, it sounds like a good concept, but having the understanding and the experience is a totally different ballgame. And that just relates to like, right, we can look at and read of how to ride a bike and see others riding the bike and saying, oh yeah, that would be cool, yeah, we could ride the bike. But when we get on it is when we have like those challenges of really finding our balance, or like feeling it in ourselves of like how that really works, and like being able to really use it to where it's getting us to the next destination, all of that.
And the world,
I don't say so myself.
Yes. And the world has like super been changing. Not only like are we in an era shift, but it's in an era change, but it's actually like, the planets have been just doing some things that they've never ever done in human history before. So like these are unprecedented times even for like astrologists, like they only know so much, even because it's just like none of these exact alignments in the stars have really even happened before. And I think a lot of times when the earth, the planet, the moon, the stars, everything's shifting and changing to places where it's never been before, we're connected to everything, all is matter, all is energy. And so we can feel those shifts internally in our body, so it's like feeling into those shifts. And then also like, me and Stacey have also gone into human design a lot in the past 2 years, since 2020. And human design teaches us our best, like basically method of operation, and for me as a manifesting generator, mine is my like method of operation is I should be responding. I should respond to my gut, to how I feel in here, because that is my true north, my inner guidance. And I think that also like when we can use the body as a guide to, pull us through ups and downs and highs and lows of manifestation, or situations, that we think are kind of, it may not be right for us. I discussed this in losing friends along the level up episode, when I really kind of bypassed my own gut intuition, and I think that we often do this in business too. So it's really something that's been heavily in my life in this past year. And then also like making sure that my health is aligned so that I can clearly feel into, like places that feel uncomfortable or something that is off in my body. Because when you're healthy, when you're aligned, and it's easy and quick to tell like, something feels awkward here. What is this?
Yeah, especially notice.
Yes.
Actually, I am going to share, I think I have it. I'll just say, there's this book that I was given when I was at LMU, and that's really what started me on this other journey, because I was in personal development already, but really tapping more deeply in. The book is called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay.
Right, yes.
Inside of that book, it has like different, let's say, ailments.
In the back.
What's happening. It has like almost a dictionary of like looking up different places of where you're feeling in pain and where you're feeling any like not alignment or so on. And you can really notice like kind of what is the primary thought of that pain. And I have yet to find it inaccurate. Like I would go back and check into, oh my gosh, okay, this is happening. Let me see what this is saying, as well as, of course, taking care of it in other ways. But I love the integration, right? So really checking out, wow, energetically, what's happening while this is coming to surface. And one of the things that came out last year that I think I spoke about a little bit on the podcast was my after the retreat, the same retreat I was talking about last week. After that retreat, my jaw got swollen. Like,
really?
Did I tell you this?
No.
Yeah. My jaw was so swollen, like from my like ear all the way, like this whole right side. And it makes a difference also what side it's on, and it tells you stuff in the book. And when I went into the book, I was like, okay, what's happening? First of all, I was freaking out, and also my family was freaking out when they saw me, because it was literally the next day it happened. And
oh my God.
Are you having mumps? Are you having something lymphatic? What's happening? It could be like, there's so many things it could have been. And I was like, okay, I gotta stop Googling this, because mumps could be contagious. So they took away Keelan from me. Everybody left my room. They left me in there.
What the heck?
I called the urgent care, they had an appointment like 3 hours later, and I know that it was inflamed, and it was so it was sore, like it could like burst kind of
like
thing.
A wisdom tooth almost.
It was so tender to the touch, and it was painful.
So what was it?
Okay, so when I went into the book, it was like it was talking about holding anger. I should actually get what it actually says. But it was talking about holding anger.
Ooh, you were holding some anger against those girls in the.
Actually, it's so funny because automatically, and then this is the part of like being intuitive, right? Intuitively led. And I was like, okay, I laid down. I knew that this was happening, and I was like, okay, where am I holding this? I kind of already knew, but I also just like let the answers arise also. So I closed my eyes, I laid on the floor.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
I gave this energy, or like the soreness and everything, like my full devoted attention. And I was just like, really, relaxed everywhere else. Like held my attention, only that I just held the space. And this is one of the practices that I do and also share, breathing into that area, so on. Okay, so, and asking the question, okay, like what is it that you want to say? What is it that you
What is it telling me?
Yeah, what is it telling me? And it was conversations around my sister. So guess what? Like and also like the people that I've been holding conversations with. So it was a conversation with my sister, and Amit had asked me, Amit's my husband, he asked me that night what happened, like me and my sister had like a falling out that evening.
Yeah.
But it was like built up. It was like such a minute falling out. It was like nothing, something that I always ignore anyway.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, this time you can't ignore it. Like that's it. It comes to fruition. All of the things, right?
Yeah.
And I end up.
I've never seen you guys argue.
Well, see, that's why, right? We just don't argue. We just avoid it. So basically what happened was Amit asked me about it, and I kind of just didn't want to tell him either, because I didn't want to get in a rise out of him, and I didn't want him to feel any way about my sister. So I was like protecting all the things except myself.
Yeah.
Right? Not letting it out, not really authentically saying what it is, not expressing my hurt and also my rage and my anger.
Yeah.
And when I left, I'm sorry. So now I'm on the floor. I have this big sore going on, and I'm decide like, oh my God, it is with my sister. For the first person I call is Amit, and I'm like telling him like, hey, you know what? When you asked me last night, this is actually what happened, and it was around my sister leaving. Yeah. Without telling me. She left. We came together, and she left without telling me.
Oh dang.
Also. Well, she told me she was going to leave, but she didn't wait for me. She was just like, I'm going to leave.
Oh, yeah.
And she also knew that my phone wasn't working. I didn't necessarily have a ride home yet. She could have been my ride home. All these different things.
Yeah.
And on her part, she was like, she didn't feel like she needed to caretake me. She felt like I knew enough people there, but it wasn't. And the thing is, like, yes, that's okay. But I was like, but you're my sister. I came with you. Why wouldn't you even check on me to see if that was okay, right?
Right.
And we had to go through a whole sisterhood thing with that too, which I'll tell you in a second. But oh man, I can't believe it. I didn't expect to get into this story. But anyway, so I'm laying on the floor, and I tell the myth, start telling him, and things start opening up, and I was like, dang, okay, I know the next thing is to actually just call my sister. So I called her. I told her what's going on with my face. And I started telling her about last night. And then I started talking to her about how these feelings are so similar to when we were in junior high and high school.
Yeah, I was going to say, it really started back to like what you guys
what we had gone through together. And that's, with me and my sister, we had different times where I felt like she left me in environments that were, not safe.
I think you told this story. I forget which.
One of the episodes, right? Yeah. So check back. In those types of environments, and just like how much hurt and pain I was in, because honestly, all I ever wanted to was just be with her, but blah, blah, blah. So anyway, out of that conversation, I was crying and she was crying, and she was like, you've never told it to me this way. And I was like, whoa. Like, however many times we've had this conversation, she had never really got to feel it.
Even me too, because in that whatever past episode that was where you were talking about it, I was just like, I never understood why. I just didn't really get why that affected you, like why things affected you like that. But you never really, explained it in depth, like
like I was never ever attached to the feeling when I'm saying, and that's exactly what it is. It was like just stuffing down those actual feelings of like pain, hurt, betrayal, being scared for my life type of thing, and also thinking that this person is going to protect me, and they have no care whether what's happening with me, but anyway, we had this conversation, and it was so beautiful.
That's good.
And I had a couple of different other conversations too. I had like 2 other conversations, another one with a myth and another one with a friend of mine who's a healer. And the point is, to bring it to this point, is like the moment after those 4 conversations, I still had my appointment to go to the urgent care, but I felt the energy disperse throughout my whole body. Like it just like, it's as if something popped energetically on my face. Yeah. And then like I had this tingling sensation all over my body. First of all, it was great, but also the scariest thing, I was like, oh shoot, like now I really did it. Like now I'm really going to be, it was my last words type of thing, because I was like, what the heck's happening? And I felt the like tingling everywhere. And then
I think it's that movement of blocked energy.
Yeah, blocked energy, and it felt so relieving. And I was like, oh my God, this is
It's like when I microdosed the other week and epiphany happened, like that's.
Yeah, I was like, this is the answer though. I was like, imagine people that are living like that have different things going on with their body, and it does turn into those things that are more serious.
Yeah, because I've had that happen.
Because they don't let it go. They don't even know how to. They don't even know how to go about letting it go. And imagine, so I went to the doctor. I still took my appointment. And when I went to the appointment, everything that he pressed, everything was good. Everything was okay. He was like, I don't see anything wrong. You can kind of go back home. And I was like, wow.
Wait, come to think of it, I don't know. Do you remember? I don't know if you were there yet, but because Stacy came in college, like maybe halfway when I was there.
I came in my junior year.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think this was before. But it was when I was, in my relationship situation.
Oh no, I was there after that.
And then my face
started happening too, right?
Yeah, well, it started with my ears, and I was one of those people who had no idea what, like health and body and mind.
We did not know. Yeah.
No, and so my ear was like, felt like an ear infection. And then one morning I woke up in my dorm and I'm telling my roommate Kelly, I was like, Kelly, my face is numb. Like I can't move my face. And this is in the midst of like me going through this traumatic ass relationship where he kept like telling me, like it was super serious. To this day, it's like, I mean, that's one of the most serious relationships I've had. But like, it's just it was deep. And then he would play these games like cut me off, like when I, and that. And so I was just like heartbroken, but I would keep it all in. I'll keep it all bottled in. So it's like, it literally like stopped up my system. My ear, it started like as an ear infection, and then it went into like my jaw and my face, and it was called this thing called Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, which Justin Bieber also had like this year. So it's like an actual thing, and it's caused by stress, I think, because they're like the thing in the ear, it starts an ear infection, but then the nerves in the ear, they clog and they almost like freeze your face. It's like a Bell's palsy, the half of your face, and like you can't move. And I remember I went to the ER, actually. Ariel took me to the ER when it happened. Like half of my face couldn't move, so I'm trying to like drink water out the water fountain, and like it's pouring out like,
oh my god.
I know. And it was literally like the most painful thing ever. And it took me months. I had to be out of school for like months. But had I known that there was like this connection between mind, body, and soul, I could have figured out that like, oh, maybe I should just talk this out with him. Like, maybe I should actually just say how I feel. Maybe I should just cut this off altogether because it's really that toxic. But and it also, I was thinking that book by Louis Hay, I think, it is such a resource because we even looked it up this year when Keelan, Stacey's son, was sick, to see like what does asthma really mean, kind of in mind, body, soul connection. And I've looked it up for allergies, and allergies is actually a form of resistance. And so either when you're resistant to something, but I think it could also be like resist to, like the season changes and stuff like that too. But it is a deep form of resistance. And sometimes when you have allergy attacks, sometimes you're around people that you're resistant to their energy, or in a situation where you're resistant to it. But there are so many different aspects of the body that can really connect to the mind. And it's interesting, they both had kind of like those facial jaw things happen when we were bottling emotion up, and bottling deep, heartfelt, heart emotion up. And I had one more experience where I had these crazy health experiences, guys. My health journey is like a whole episode in itself. But I basically had this huge immune system crash, maybe around like 2016 or so. And that was like after I had this really intense, another intense relationship, and which led to, a miscarriage and all this kind of stuff. So after that experience, it's like I just like emotionally couldn't take it. I emotionally could not deal. And so it's like my heart shut down. So then it's like my body shut down, and I was just like kind of giving up. And so my immune system just wasn't carrying me anymore. Like I had to literally I had to rebuild everything back up within my mind, body, and soul, because I was just like, I was on bed rest for months because I couldn't pick myself back up. But I think that, you know, in that time, and I just had to like sit with myself. I had to just, well, me and my dog too, but I had to sit and like contemplate things. But, you know, like when you have that space and that time alone and you have to heal, then it makes you have to process these things. Okay, well, maybe I do need to process these emotions. And maybe if I process and clear these emotions, then you start to heal more, and then you start to, get better.
Our incentive for healing is so, high at that moment,
right?
Rather than, like I probably would have never had that conversation if I wasn't pushed. And you know what? Right. On one hand, it's like, okay, let's see how we can not get to that place, and then also understand, like, sometimes unfortunately, if we wait, we get to a moment where there's no turning back. We have to have it. So.
Right. And for me, I really just should have cut everything. I should have cut stuff off before it kind of, got to the point where it does affect my health, and and also it taught me, especially like that was in college when my face went numb, like that was really the lesson to, like, Brett, you can't bottle things up anymore. Like because my face, it couldn't move, and I wasn't sure if it would ever move again, because sometimes it doesn't after that illness. And so I remember like praying, I was like, God, please help me be able to smile again. Please help me be able to like be normal again. I was like, if you let me smile again, I was like, I promise I will never stop smiling. I will smile all of the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's so funny the contracts you make with God during those moments.
It's like, I'm so sorry for any beauty that I've taken for granted. Like, don't make me like this forever. But yeah, it was rough. Like, I even had to take steroids to get my face moving again. Justin Bieber did too. I really felt pain for him. he was going through it. But yeah, it's a serious illness. So I guess we'll link that Louise Hay book definitely in the show notes, because that is a resource. And then I was listening to a speaker, and she was talking about, sometimes like when you feel stuck in life or whatever, she was like, if you feel stuck in life, and then she was like, and in this moment of your stuckness, like, do you feel like you can move right now? Do you feel like going to work out? Do you feel like going to run, jog or whatever, or do yoga? And she was like, if it's no, then that means you are more in your head than in your body. You're more in your mind than you are in your body. And to get out of, that mental loop, which is essentially just like the ego and resistance, movement is necessary. And like, but she was also pressing upon the point that, like, whatever movement you do, whatever workout you do, you have to just make sure it is aligned to you and that you do love it, even whatever it is, whether you love going to the gym, whether, for me, I love going to yoga. I don't know what to do in the gym, honestly. Like when I go there, I'm just like, I don't really know what to do. And maybe if I had a trainer, I'm not really sure. But for you, the gym is your thing, and whatever, like, it uplifts you, she just was like, you got to move, because she was like, in a way, you're kind of stagnating yourself and your own energy when you're not getting out and you're not moving your body in some way, because that's it's an energy trap too. Like, like when the energy was kind of stuck in your jaw, or when it was stuck in, my face or in my body, like, you got to release, the toxins, you got to release that blocked energy, because everything is flowing, moving energy, matter, and it all weaves into each other. And, if you really think about it, like, everything is a particle of energy, everything that we see and touch, and we are all connected. So I think understanding that helps realize, like, oh, okay, if I can understand that, then I can understand how my mind, body, and soul are also connected, And I think I'll add, go ahead.
The second piece I was going to say too is just definitely getting into your body can just like have you have a whole experience, like this whole experience. And I think I've shared this as well, but one thing that I will say is, like, when I was really, dealing with numbness around intimacy because of just different, traumatic situations I had been in when I was younger, one thing I really noticed working with a teacher and coach also was, when I was trying to feel back into my body, like, okay, even just a practice of feeling on my hands. Of course, if you can see me, I'm doing that, just like feeling on my hands, just like, okay, how does this feel? How does this feel? And actually, when I was going into how does this feel, guess where I was trying to think about how it feels, like in my brain. I was like, oh, how does this feel? But not realizing, like one moment, I remember this breakthrough moment when I was like, oh my God, like actual touch is a sense as well, not only just the feel, but like I don't have to think to feel, like I can feel to feel. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I've been doing in my intimacy and in sex, basically. Just noticed, like, oh my God, I'm trying to think of how it feels instead of actually having the
feeling into it,
feeling it.
Yeah.
And just how like that in itself just allowed me to really drop into actually the experience. How is this feeling? Am I receptive to this? Am I open to this right now? How can I actually express that in my language, but also with my body, and being really, really aligned. And that just changed so much for me.
Yeah.
Even thinking about that, even how I'm taking that into my daily life, just like, oh wow. And in meditation, in everything else, just like, wow, how like feel to feel, not thinking about how it feels.
Right, exactly. And I think that, I think especially when we're working or, when we're running a team or when we're managing a project, like it's so important to even feel into your body during those moments. Like if, you get an email and you get
so like powerful. Our bodies are so much, like if we can drop into more of the power that we have, even along our chakras, all that, we can actually resource so much more answers than we can by
answers. Exactly. Like when you're looking for an answer, the best thing to do is feel into your body, to tune in and tap into your body. Like, if you get an email and you feel like a pang or like a weird thing, like, I don't know about that person, or, like, and then step back, like breathe and then be like, and feel into your body and be like, where do I feel this discomfort? Why am I feeling this discomfort? What is this discomfort trying to tell me? And then it'll help you like maneuver and move in that situation. And I think to get yourself used to that, there are a lot of like getting in your body kind of meditations. Amber Khan, who does the Revolution Ramblings podcast, she actually has a great one. I can link that below as well. But yeah, just really, breathing into your body, below like what is just like surface, below your skin. You got to like feel into what is beneath to really find out the answers I think that the universe is trying to provide. I think I'll also add a little clip here. I sent like Stacey this YouTube, or not YouTube, it was an Instagram reel, just like about mind body awareness. So I'm gonna drop in this clip.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
Tap into your body, be aware. The more you tap into your body and you be aware, the more you literally dissolve the ripple of time that's causing the pattern to begin with. Let that sink in. The more aware you are, using your body and breath, the more you dissolve the ripple of time that creates the pattern to begin with. The more you embody your breath and body, the more you dissolve the ripple of time that dissolves the trauma pattern to begin with. There is no pattern when there is no time. There is no trauma when you are just right here, right now. This is the healing code. There is no more trauma. There is no more pattern when you are hyper present in your body and breath right here, right now. There is no time. Much love.
But yeah, it's a great clip. And it makes you think. And I also added to our Instagram highlights section, health section, that just all of the mind, body kind of awareness, alignment, health stuff we're going to put in there. When Stacy makes it to the gym, when I make it to yoga, we can also put it in there. But yeah, I think it's super important. Like sometimes in the spiritual community, there's like this, almost this like defiance of the body, or like, kind of like starve the body and just like get into the soul, but it's all connected. And it's like, if we're not tuned in and tapped in to our bodies, like how are we fully conscious? Like how are we fully spiritual? So and I think that more and more people are realizing how visceral and important the connection is there. So yeah, I guess we'll keep talking about this though, like it's
and leading it through our conversation. But I think this is a great introduction in a way that is really focused, and also just like that understanding of tuning in and why it's important, and how you can go about it, because it's already in us, right? It's already there for us to like tune into a little bit more, just like pay attention in even an energetic level, just like really noticing and being a witness of what's happening.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, being a witness. And like, within consciousness, it's always a practice to be a watcher of your thoughts. And I think it's also a practice to feel into your body and to be a watcher of like your feelings, of your emotions, of like the way that your intuition and your gut are feeling. So we encourage you to tap into your body this week. Check out the meditation below, check out Louis Hay's book, and align yourself, because, over here we align over hustle, and, getting in tune with the body is part of that.
Exactly. And if you have any questions for us, feel free to drop them.
Yes.
And
DM us, whatever.
Yeah, so then we can include that in our next podcast. But fun to be with you. Happy Friday.
As always, happy Friday. TGIF.
Celebrate yourself and just what it is today. Remember that everything changes, and parts of the changes, that's what we were talking last time, like parts of things that we want to change. Some of the great things that we want to stay the same, that they actually change as well as everything else changes. So just noticing, yes, you may want to speed through a season, but there may be things in this season that's not going to go with you to the next season. So make sure to really tune into what those are and enjoy them while you're here.
And pick up your tools in every season. There's a tool and a tip to be learned in every season. Like you're always where you're planted for a reason. And when you're here and now and present, you can pick up those tools and really run with them and implement them into your careers, into your creativity, into your art, into whatever it might be. So, yeah.
All right. Bye.
Until next time, guys. Bye.
Also, check out our companies to support your ascension and to give back to underserved girls through art and self-love.
You can check out more on me, Brett, and my art, coloring books, and self-love affirmation cards that will support you on your own art and self-love journey, relieve stress while giving underserved girls of color the gift of art. Follow at Stuck Designs, that's STUK, on Instagram, or visit stuckdesigns.org.
And you can check out more about me, Stacy, at exalther.com. There you can find out more about my book, Exalt Her, 12 Ways to Unleash Your Unstoppable Beauty. It's about being more of who you are from the inside to out and sharing more of your gifts with the world. I host workshops and coach one-to-one around aligning with yourself, your life force, and your legacy. You can also find out more and follow us on Instagram at exaltedwoman.com.
Happy Friday and have a great week.